What do you guys do?
I have no idea. I'm just kind of going along with this if we're doing like some sort
It's some sort of reveal, I guess.
of.
What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to Fish and Films. This is the one and only talk show where we talk, review, and recommend movies. I am Matt Fischione. Welcome back to the channel. And here we have a very interesting video because we have here our first ever discussion video. And I am not alone here as I have two guests here that I have known for well over a year, probably almost 2 years now, and I am glad to have him here for the first time ever on Fish and Films. So whoever wants to go first, introduce yourselves, and I got a question, kind of like a little bit of an icebreaker here. What happens to be your favorite movie of all time?
Take it away, Darius.
That's a really hard. That's actually a kind of a hard pill to swallow, if I'm gonna be honest, because I used to think I had one, but now as I realize that masterpiece isn't the same thing as perfection, because I don't think perfection really exists in this world. So in a way of speaking, it's sort of hard to really pick out what's one person's favorite as opposed to another, because they might find it interesting for different reasons and stuff like that. So you can't exactly pick apart the bones of contention as far as what you would consider to be a favorite. I used to think that my all-time favorite movie, hands down, used to be The Wizard of Oz, but who the hell am I kidding? No film is perfect.
My favorite movie has to be The Dark Knight. I love everything and anything there is to pick out of that movie. I can the writing is insane. It compacts so much character and themes and just tension in such a yes, it's 2.5 hours, but it really should probably be 3.5, 4 hours with just how much that they do manage to do in that one movie. The cinematography is fantastic, the music's fantastic. I love it.
What we're going to be talking about today, folks, is a topic that
let's just say it started to sort of nick in the brain at around 2017, 2018, but it wasn't until recently this year that it just
got out of control.
Firecrackers.
And it just kind of been shoving at our faces, and to a point where we're saying we can't take it anymore. So that subject that we're going to be talking about is the ongoing issues between Disney and Warner Brothers. And this is something that I want to start off with, first to Disney, because roughly around 2014 or 2015, the live action reboots or remakes kind of all started, mainly all starting back to Cinderella. And I think there's a kind of bit of a pattern here that Disney is becoming a company that we used to love as kids who grew up on the cartoons, and now it's just becoming a film that's, in my eyes, kind of desperate to make money and try and find new ways to just make money that we don't necessarily agree with. So Max, I'm gonna hand it off to you when I ask you this question. Do you think that Disney is running out of ideas? Any new ideas to please its audience, or do you think it's completely lost its way?
I think part of it is definitely lost. I lost its kind of ideas to make original concepts for movies, but I also think it's more to do with the lack of kind of spine to make I guess to kind of take a chance and do something completely random and new, especially in live action. It's almost like they've tried to continuously play it safe and be like, what is the thing that's going to maximize getting money, maximize people's like, I guess, enjoyment, like quote unquote, because it's familiar and it's what everyone's grown up with and what everyone's comfortable with, rather than something bold and new and daring, which is just like, because that can fail and that can lose us money, even though we have all the money in the world to play with. So that's what I would kind of boil it down to. And I think it's just snuffed out like a lot of opportunities to maybe have new classics and new stories that everyone can enjoy, rather than just like, but they just keep retelling the same things now.
It's kind of hard not to imagine that sort of outcome, because if you really think back to how long Disney has been in the game and just how big of a pop culture phenomenon that they've become, how they've dominated the animation department, the live action department, even certain books and video games for that matter. They've been around for such a long time and they've had such a domineering grip over the type of stuff that we watch, the type of stuff that we do. Hell, they're even responsible for the bloody copyright thing. It's basically that scenario in which you get way too powerful, way too fast, that you barely even have to put in any particular effort to in order to sell a product. It's basically like them throwing money at something and they get money back. And the entire time I'm thinking, you've been in the game since my dad was in diapers. How are you that rich and you suck at capitalism that hard? The bloody I literally mentioned this in my Artemis Fowl review. The bloody it's really difficult when you see them going from The Lion King or Treasure Island, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, to Frozen, and I mean it's really difficult to watch them fall so far downhill, and yet they still have people chomping at the bit to see their movies like as soon as they get released. Like, so
Yeah, but also like in a point where the the industry is like still trying to keep itself together because of the pandemic and COVID. I think they're trying to stick with a certain formula that people are easy to recognize, and so I think they're choosing this route solely because they think that they know their audience, but really they don't, especially for the people who have watched Disney like since the beginning of their existence. It's like a company that they are not used to rely on anymore, which is why in my eyes we're getting more and more live action and less of the cartoons, in which in my opinion Disney is a perfection of cartoons. Like that's their specialty. Whenever it's like related to their own work or whatever it's associated with, like Pixar, I feel like it's something that they have gotten better at, with not just the visuals but also its storytelling. Pretty amazing stuff. So I want to ask this question to both of you, and you guys can choose which one you want to go first. Do you think that in this point in time they should like completely stop with the whole live actions, the whole sequels, reboots, spin-offs, prequels, just drop all of that and mainly stick with animation?
part of me doesn't want to, because there are a couple of projects that they either haven't done yet or have already done that have shown shreds of potential. But in this current state, the way that they're going about it, I you have better luck convincing me that they're actually going to do right by anything if they keep going the particular route that they are. I mean, even the live action remakes that I didn't exactly have a problem with, like Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, hell, even Cruella for that instance. It's still sort of a rocky sign when not knowing if the live action Disney reboot is the best bit of praise you can give it, and that's still not enough.
I feel like the live action remakes, I feel like should just stop, especially the, like, first off, get rid of all of the animal movie live action remakes, because there is really no point. There is that it's not like with when Mulan was coming out, I was like, I know it's not going to be good, but it's still an interesting thing to see. Like, it's kind of like taking inspiration from Eastern martial arts movies, like it could be doing, and like that, they could do something interesting here. But with the Lion King, they're doing Bambi, baffles me. But like, what is there to bring to that? And also, but I feel like, just remakes in general, they're not needed, they're not being asked for, and they're not improving upon anything. They're not trying new things. So those can be those can just be shuffled off, and I that would not take any, I wouldn't cry over that, wouldn't lose sleep over it at all. Um like things like Cruella, I guess, is like a different thing, just because I thought I enjoyed Cruella. I didn't think it was great by any means, but like it was at least something that hadn't been done before, even though it was a character that we'd seen, and I thought that there was a lot of good stuff in there. And so maybe if they were gonna do live action things, I would be more interested for them to take that route, even though I wouldn't want to see just things like Cruella copy and pasted over and over again for the next 12 years. It's difficult.
Yeah,
if it's an alternate universe version of the character, that'd be more suitable, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
didn't see the movie. I saw 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians, that is. And I saw the live action movies as well. Like way back in like the 90s or like early 2000s, I think, when they got released. I didn't see it because I clearly thought that it was a copy and paste of like Joker. How like this person was like upbringing, struggling through life, and then you transform into, kind of like the person that we all know that she's going to be. And I just kind of saw that as like, Disney being cheap, not really like digging deep and what could have potentially be like a really interesting story. And I think that I kind of saw it, and now a sequel is being made, and I don't know why.
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
I don't even know why either, because it ends kind of linking into 101 Dalmatians, so even a sequel to that surely would just be 101 Dalmatians and not Cruella 2.
The Joker meets Devil meets Prada meets Maleficent.
That's true.
Oh my god! Speaking of
that is true.
They even use the Smile song from that was used in Joker in Cruella, and I was like, that's
really?
That's a bit.
The score. The
really?
score for I don't know if it was a score for the bathroom scene or maybe it was just.
No, it's the montage song where he's going on the dates with Zazie Beetz' character that I can't remember the name of, and they use that in Cruella. And when that came on, I was like, be subtle about your Joker.
Be subtle about your references, dude.
As a kid, did you guys ever watch? You'll probably never heard this movie. It's a Disney movie I watched as a kid, Fox and the Hound. Have you guys seen that? Do you think that they'll ever make a live action one? Because I'm actually one of the very few people who actually love that movie and actually would not mind to see a live action. I know we just talked about this, but that's honestly just my thing. So
all I will say is they remade Lady and the Tramp.
That's true. That's true.
I never saw that, and probably the best.
You never saw Lady and the Tramp?
No, I mean the remake that they did.
Oh, okay.
The remake of it, yeah.
The remake. Oh, yeah. Same here. So. Oh man. But yeah, so it's really interesting that we kind of talked about like spin-offs and stuff in these projects. Disney not only owns the rights to like their own projects, but they also own the rights to like Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, Fox,
everything.
Star Wars.
Yeah, and honestly, Disney has done a a really good job with like Marvel and kind of just like elevated to like something that we've always what Stan Lee has always imagined for his characters, let alone his own product, to be above and beyond his imagination, which is great. But for Star Wars, it's the complete opposite.
Mm.
This is basically George Lucas's life here. Like everything that we know when it comes to the movies, the books, the games,
Hmm.
it's like they're basically taking a shit like all over it.
You realize that when you realize that the only good, only legitimately solid Disney Star Wars content is Rogue One and The Mandalorian, that's not exactly a good sign. When the bloody prequel series is better than this. That's what
See, I have a very controversial opinion about this. I actually do really like the Force Awakens. I'm in the minority on that one.
I'm honestly I would happen to agree. I don't think the Force Awakens is that bad of a movie. It's just what
It's
followed.
watchable. It's watchable.
See,
People really
yeah,
started this shit to bed when it came to the Last Jedi, and
Yeah.
it's like okay, I get it, I really do, but I don't see it. Like
I'm. It's a very interesting thing because going like and talking to a bunch of people, a lot of people that are very like big on films and stuff tend to really like The Last Jedi. I don't understand it, but like fair enough. And like and that's the thing with Disney Star Wars as a whole. I'm a bit I'm a bit indifferent just because about half of it I really like. I like I borderline love like Rogue One and The Force Awakens if I'm honest. Like I just like enjoyability factor. I just like I don't know, I'll never not enjoy watching those movies. And The Mandalorian I really like. But then the other half is just kind of declines extremely with my enjoyment. And like but even then I'm like I don't know if I would really I probably prefer anything that they've done to the prequels, is also a tiny bit controversial on that part, but I don't know, I'm just a bit indifferent because I'm like it's not in a good place, but I feel like it's not
Yeah.
unsalvageable right now. And
They even Yeah, even JJ Abrams even admitted, like they didn't necessarily had a plan with the
mm,
whole sequel trilogy. Even the guy who played like Finn on the show said, that his character was basically like trashed on, or there wasn't any
oh,
arc to him.
oh my
So
oh my
when you
god.
have that kind of response to the own people featured in the movie,
yeah,
that should honestly say something to you.
There's
I remember
always a bigger fish.
yeah, I remember going into like seeing the rise of Skywalker, and I'm like, oh my God, they basically destroyed this entire franchise. Like the only thing that they could really like bring it back up is, like you said, Max, the Mandalorian. For me personally, the new Kenobi series, and also the Book of Boba Fett, which I'm very, very excited to see. And then you also have the Clone Wars, which is like whole other level
like
here. But
At least compared to the movie.
yeah, but um, but Max, I want to ask you this question, because George Lucas said himself that he has like own projects and own materials that he would want to release. But
mm,
obviously knowing Disney, they're probably not going to give him the green light on this. So I guess the biggest question is that do you think that Star Wars could ever get out of Disney, or do you think that it's permanently stuck there forever?
I think it's probably stuck there forever, which like because I feel like Disney is a black hole of like movie studios and movie franchises, and when they get sucked in they can't leave. I don't think that's to say that it can't thrive there, because I think that I think that there's a light at the end of the tunnel in this whole journey of Disney Star Wars that's been going for the last 6 years. Like,
Yeah.
it started off pretty strong for me at least. Then it really, really dipped. And now with things like The Mandalorian and the look of like the Obi-Wan series, which I'm really, really intrigued about just because they seem to be like pulling in a lot of like, they're pulling in Hayden Christensen, they're trying to like really, and I'm really excited to see like a more modern version of like a fight between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader. That's like extremely,
that's our childhood being like revamped or like reborn like once again,
yeah. And with like, because you have Taika Waititi doing his like Star Wars project, and I think that we're on a potential uphill slope. It could easily go back down to like zero again, but I'm hopeful, holding out a little bit of hope.
They're just gonna go out and build more like theme parks or like exhibits, for like people to see, because I know they just opened up the Avengers Camp site at Disneyland. They have the Star Wars site. They have the James Cameron's Avatar one, I believe. I'm not sure if it's in Disneyland or in Disney World, that is. Which, by the way, I'm still waiting to hear some news on Avatar 2. I mean, it's been like very, very, very long overdue.
All I know about is like
it's
like Avatar 2 itself.
What do you think?
Yeah.
I think they finished filming the second one. I think I can't exactly know. It's been that long since I've heard any news about it, and it's like Jesus.
Yeah.
Isn't it meant to be coming out? Is it December of this year, or is it December of next year?
It's gonna be next.
No Way
it's gonna
Home.
be next year.
Okay.
Next year.
Yeah.
Because it's
like I guess that's because I would be a bit concerned if it was December of this year, and like, well, of course we haven't got any Spider-Man things, but like, it's so weird because I feel like Darius, you're right. I think that they wrapped a little while ago. I think I saw something about them wrapping filming like quite a long time ago.
They actually wrapped production on the second one, and I think they're halfway done of the third one, I believe. I'm not so sure. But yeah, Darius, what were you gonna say before?
I was going to say something along the lines of I'm not exactly sure about the release date, whether it was all I didn't know was that I was pretty sure it was going to be in late 2022 or something like that, because I already knew No Way Home and Matrix 4 were gonna come out. Speaking of Matrix 4, getting ahead of myself.
Morpheus. I'm gonna miss Morpheus. He was honestly the entire show. I mean, no offense to Keanu Reeves, he's freaking amazing, but nobody can beat nobody can like beat Morpheus.
Speaking of Morpheus, I actually had to look up a little bit of info as to why exactly he wasn't in the movie outside of Lawrence Fishburne not getting the call to come back. Turns out Morpheus is
no, he's
not. The Matrix Online game. Basically, Morpheus got fed up with the machines basically keeping where Neo's body was a secret, so he sort of went on a little bit of a terrorist run until some sort of super hacker or whatever sort of broke into the Matrix and sort of corrupted Morpheus' programming, and then just killed him. It's like
I'm trying not to believe you right now, because like
I was sort of in disbelief too when I heard it. The Matrix Online game, that was like back in 2009. Okay, you don't believe me, you're gonna have to look it up. But
all right, so guys, we already discussed Disney, and we're gonna take a little bit of a break here, kind of gather our thoughts on our next topic, Warner Brothers. So for those who are watching this, stay tuned for part 2, and we'll see you next time.